This is my current laptop. It's an Acer Nitro with an AMD Ryzen 5800H, an RTX 3060 with 6GB and 16GB of DDR4 RAM. I've been using it for the past 5 years now after upgrading from an i7 8th generation, an 8700H to be specific, and a GTX 1050 Ti. And it has worked for the most part, but as with all of those gaming laptops, mine from the factory came with a stripped screw. I can't remove the CPU heatsink, which is also the GPU's heatsink, and it already has overheating issues as of 2023. When I run games, the Nitro Sense, which is pretty good because you can control the fans, shows 90 degrees on the CPU and the GPU is chilling at 64. Ramping up fans just makes more noise, which isn't ideal when you're trying to write a video script. Those temps haven't always been that high. A couple of years back when she was still brand new, I think it was sitting more in the 50 to maybe 60 range. And yeah, it also has one more problem, which is I can't install Arch on it anymore. I know I made a video about it and it ran, but I don't know what's going on, but the second I try to install Arch, it just comes up with errors. So, after 5 years, it's time for something better. I know what you might be thinking, a T440p from Lenovo? But why? My answer to that question? I wanted something that is efficient and compatible with Linux, or to be more specific Arch, and that is where this thing shines. It has an i5 4210M with 2 cores, 4 threads. It originally had, once I got it, 8GB of DDR3 and a 250GB SSD. I have ever since upgraded it to 16GB of RAM and a 2TB SSD. Yeah, I do have upgrades planned, but that will be in a follow-up video. It also has a fingerprint reader and a backlit keyboard, which isn't pretty common on these models, especially for just €100. Trackpad is the most terrible thing about this. The screen also has bad aspect ratios, but it has an advantage. Since this thing, or generally this series of ThinkPads, are pretty modular, it allows you to take basically anything you want and put it inside of the ThinkPad, and it will just work without needing extra BIOS, customized firmware, or anything like that. That is where this thing really has a plus point in my books. What do I mean when I say parts? Well, basically, you can replace the trackpad, the keyboard, add or remove the fingerprint reader, replace the screen with something like a 2K display, place the motherboard for additional connectivity, and also add in a GPU if you so desired. Well, you would need a special motherboard version for that. Yeah, it's just an Nvidia with 2GB of VRAM, but it's still worthwhile. And the CPU is also socketed, meaning you can go from 2 all the way to 4 cores and 8 threads. Some specific motherboard models even had an M.2 slot, then add-in card also allowing for basically GPS tracking, which I think is amazing. Anyways, enough with the talking, let's unbox it.
So today we have something I bought. It's nice of them to include this first of all. Really happy. And then I don't even know anymore, dude. I don't know anymore. But alright, let's go ahead and check this thing out. I've ordered it from eBay. Cost me around about $100 or €100 rather. €100. That's not too bad. Up tight. That's how it should be, goddammit. Be careful that I don't crack the screen with this thing. I also don't want to tear this up because we use this stuff. Come on. There we go. This too. Doesn't matter. That's so anyways, let's take a look. What we have, ThinkPad, and it is in fact a Lenovo device. I know what you guys might be thinking, well yeah, Lenovo blah, whatever, but it's, I don't know if I've fallen for a meme or something, but well, as you might be able to see right there, It's a T440p. Yeah, and this trackpad is already horrible. But it should turn on, let's see. That's quiet. Jeez. Like nothing! And what bloatware am I expecting to be on here? Hi. Well, we have a fingerprint reader, which I don't think works, but... Oh yeah, they didn't even bother to install the good version. They didn't even bother. Look, there's like everything on here. There's mouse properties, trackpad, clickpad. There's all type of nonsense on here which just is disgusting. And the keyboard isn't backlit, at least not yet. But that has other reasons for why, and that's what I'm going to be probably fixing. It has a backlit keyboard? But why though?
Small editorial note here. The seller did not state in their listing that the backlit keyboard and the fingerprint reader were a part of it. That was why I was acting so surprised. Anyway, back to the video.
Cause wait, if I turn it off, right, I turn my light off, it's a backlit keyboard. That's cool. I mean, she'll get some upgrades once I eventually get around to saving up, but this takes one of the items I wanted to purchase for this thing off the list. It just smells like factory in a good way. It's just like a warehouse, so it's been probably sitting in a warehouse for a while. DVD drive? Oh yeah, there is one. I mean, yeah, I know what people might think, like optical media bad, but it's good. I love DVD drives, especially in this small thing. That's awesome. Okay, so let's check if the specs are here. I think we're probably running, 8 gigs, so we're gonna fix that. And it's on 2 parallel DIMMs, running with one. It's a SanDisk SD, so this is just an OEM drive of some kind, but that's totally fine, because we're gonna fix that. Does it have the... Yeah, it has it! Look! It has the ThinkPad red lit up dot. That's cool. My friend has one of the, well, not one of these, but one of the similar ThinkPads, and his does also have that. This is gonna be my main new workforce, kind of. Wait, weren't you supposed to come with a 4,300 and something? No, you have 2 cores, 4 threads. That's fine for beginning, because especially we'll upgrade it further down the line anyway. So where's my charger? Why is there no charger? Oh, there is a charger. Oh my god. I was like, what the hell? But no, there is a charger. If they would have shipped it without a charger, I would have been pissed. But hey, that's good. The keyboard has a nice thing to it. Wait, let me just quickly open an editor. I wanna write something, even though I see Outlook down here, which makes me think it's probably... This thing's really small and like really quiet as well. Like legitimately, it has no noise. Man, I appreciate that. It makes me, like legitimately, it makes me so happy to have a laptop which is like known good. 3 hours, 9 minutes of battery life remaining, but that's totally fine. But wow. So honestly, the seller who sold this thing, really, you did a good job. I'm very, very thankful. Look at that. That's so cool. The fact that a ThinkPad, despite it's very old, can have a feature like that. Wow.
So off I went, taking my Mac Mini apart, removing its RAM and plotting that into the ThinkPad, and it does in fact work. She had 16GB of RAM, and I also removed the 250GB SSD and put in my Crucial MX2000 with 2TB. While I don't have footage of me turning it on for the first time, it did in fact post without any issues. I was so happy that did in fact work. Later ended up downgrading again to Windows 10 after installing Windows 11 to see how it would run, cause I needed to update the BIOS. And that's what I did. Then, I also don't have footage of that. A couple hours later, I ended up basically finishing this project and installing Arch Linux, setting up all my stuff, installing themes, installing apps, and there we are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with some of your friends and maybe consider subscribing. I'm thankful for every subscriber and a comment that I get. I read them after the video goes live, and even later. So, be sure to leave a comment if you have something to say. And if you're feeling very generous, you can also support me by joining the Discord server. The upgrades are planned, but I don't know when I can get around to them, so definitely stay tuned if you want to see how that goes. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!